Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. What I'm about to say, immigrants know to be true. Why? By direct experience and comparison. The Americans or the Canadians or the Germans, the French, the guys from an organized society where a contract is a contract to a certain extent or more than in other countries, or at least, following or obeying the law, and the law is enforced more than the countries we come from, these guys will understand. The Americans and the people, the natives, will not really understand. And I'm going to tell you what. That's why I'm telling you this. Just to understand the conversation of this article that I have right here. So let me show you the article coming from Ukrainska Pravda and then discuss the foundation of the conversation. Zelensky's declarations of wealth show, not allege, show his and his family's income decreased threefold in 2022. Okay, this is from today, Sunday, the 28th of January. Now, for an American, we'll say, well, the IRS or whatever or whomever decided that, well, he tells the truth. He must be telling the truth. Well, this is where the problem is. They think that, let's say, the IRS, Internal Revenue Services, the ones that collect your taxes and so on, for instance, they think that they function in other countries as it functions here. No, it's not the same way. And besides, put Zelensky and where he's at. He's got martial law instituted. That means he's the boy over there. He's the guy. Right. So let me tell you this. When we come here, people like me, and people like me like order and discipline, and they like the law to be obeyed, and they like fairness or justice to be respected across the board and enforced. People like me that did not find that where we came from, or we found it maybe 2%, 5%, 10%, we wanted 100%, but we didn't find here 100%, but at least we found 90%. But 90% is better than 10%, right? I'm talking about Romania. So obviously, for me coming here, I know how things are over there versus how things are over here, how they're enforced. Let me give you a last example that you would understand. So an American, if you say, well, Zelensky declared he's lost money, an American will say, well, he declared. Those guys obviously keep an eye on him. He wouldn't lie. They would catch him. Like right here, try to lie to IRS and see what's happening. You're going to get caught eventually. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and then you're going to be fucked big time. Okay? I know people who did that and they got real fucked. So that's one thing. And you don't have to believe me. Just Google it. So in this case, the Americans think that the institutions that they have here are the same over there. No, that's not the same way. I'm going to give you the last example here regarding this this difference in applying the law or the term. I came here to the United States of America, and I went to college here, and I went to college over there too. But that's beyond the point here. And here they were talking in an, I think it was I can't remember what class it was, but they were talking about the Zulu Empire. And they were talking about the Zulu culture and Zulu this and empire. And see, my fellow Americans, nobody said anything because for them an empire was, Zulu Empire for them was equal to the Roman Empire. For me, definitely not. I tell you why. One was a civilization, the other one was a culture. The terms, why they use it this way, because civilization requires more than a culture. No insult. But this is this is an example. Happened to me. So when they think, let's say, an Zulu Empire, they think about an organization, a territory that they controlled. But a civilization requires more. So put let's say, the architecture of the Rome and architecture of the Zulu. Or let's say the institutions of the Rome and institutions of the Zulu. Right? And many, many other things. So for a guy thinking it's an empire, they're equal as the same, the Roman Empire, the Zulu Empire, without knowing that that empire has nothing to do with this empire, and vice versa. So the same here. When my American fellow Americans and Canadians say, hey, Zelensky declared that, don't think that he declared it and that's the truth. I know where I'm coming from. He might have declared that. Nobody will come after him. Nobody. Why? Because he can do that. Why? He's got martial law instituted. Those guys are his boys. Imagine that the people over there from the IRS or whatever will say something, open an investigation. What do you think Zelensky can do? Not himself. He's going to talk to his boys, and his boys are going to say, you collaborated with Russia. This is the evidence. Are you going to find it? So they know better. That's the way it works in that part of the world and in many others. So they know what to do. So don't fall for, maybe that's the truth. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm telling it's very improbable, unlikely that to happen. And why now? Why do you think they come now? I tell you why. Because there were some articles yesterday and the day before stating that some defense officials had a scheme, embezzlement, were charged with embezzlement about almost 40 million US dollars. They were procuring weapons so they were getting the money, and the money supposedly they were sending to buy weapons from the West. The money was given from another Western country or whatever, and they were paying from the government. Government was giving to the defense ministry. Defense ministry was buying supposedly weapons with the same money. It's the same team. It's like it's just they were paying themselves. And these guys in the meantime they were charged with embezzlement. That means they were doing a little economic scheme, a little fraudulent, and they were found, 6 of them. They were caught and they were shown. Why? See, we're fighting corruption. And immediately the next day, today, the Sunday, they came and said, well, Zelensky, see, he lost. He's honest and poor. That's the only reason why now they tell us about the 2022. What do you think? It's coincidental? No, I don't think so at all. Now, maybe, he lost money, like Trump lost money. It's possible, which it would be a how do you call it? In the United States of politics, when you become a president and you have an income of about what? I know he and his wife, Biden, had an income, declared income of $515,000 last year, and they paid income tax 15%, if I remember correctly, for that one, or 12%, something like that, instead of 25 or 60. You can make shit up, man. After they graduate the college, the presidential terms, they will become shoot up millionaires like that. Look at Obama's, look at Clinton's. They were not millionaires. Now they are multi-millionaires. Oh, Obama sold his book. Who published his book? I can write 50 books better than that garbage of Obama. My life, my one. Okay, well, it's nice, very good. But is anybody going to publish? When you're going to be elected by, then we're going to publish. Do you pay for value or for the name? If you pay for the name, that means you do not for the value. Anyway, let's go to this guy and see how honest he is. So as I said, I don't know if that's true or not. I think it's highly unlikely that he doesn't have money more than he says. So the income of Ukrainian President Zelensky and his family has decreased from, let's put it in dollars, $285,000, which I don't think that's what it is, in 2021 to 3.5 as it is with 97. So from almost 300,000 to 100,000, let's put it in 2022. In 1 year. My question is, why? How is that possible? Why? And let's calculate. So they lost in 1 year $200,000. Let's say, right? Where did you lose $200,000? Let's figure it out. Zelensky, everything he does is paid by the Ukrainian people. Correct? Correct. So he's not losing money whatsoever. Food and everything else is paid by being the president. And he makes, I think, about, if I remember correctly, $50,000 a year or something like this. Doesn't really matter. My point is, he's not losing any money. His wife was whatever she is. Why is she losing money? She's not losing money. Where is $200,000 gone? Traveling? Do you think that Zelenskaya, his wife, when she traveled to wherever they use their own money? Hey, America, you think so? She's the first lady, after all. She worked for the Ukrainian people. Do you think that when he travels all over the world, he used his own money? So where did you lose $200,000? You tell me. You tell me. Did he buy a Maserati? With 300 and some. Well, it depends. If you buy the garbage one, you buy it for 100,000. The one that breaks all the time, you buy it used, what, $60,000, and you say, I drive a Maserati. Is that the garbage? Okay, fuck off. But you need to know. So here again, how can you lose $200,000 as the president of the country? Did you pay taxes for property that you have? No, because they should have said over there, they have the income. This is the income. Anyway, man, the income of this has decreased from $285,000 to $97,000. I don't know. How is that? Let's see. Zelensky has made public his declarations of property, because I thought it was just income, but it's not. See right here. Zelensky has made public his declarations of property, income, expenses, and financial liabilities for 2021 and 2022. So that's misleading right here. That's misleading. According to the declaration from 2021, the income of the Zelensky family, all right, well, property and all that, amounted for that, and then including income from the sale of domestic government bonds worth, I don't know how much is, and I'm going to even bother to see, but I can look at this. So they had what? 3.7 million, and they got 5.7 million. In 2021, his family's income mainly consisted of salaries, bank interest, and income from renting out real estate. Oh, so you got real estate. Okay, no problem. Amounting to a total of 5 million. How much is this? So 5 million, if 3 million, let's say 4 million is $100,000, that means it was $120,000. Let's go by that. The income of the president's family in 2021 decreased by about $314,000 compared with 2020. Their cash balance also decreased in 2021. Zelensky continues to own a number of trademarks. In 2021, the process of registering 22 trademarks which began long before his election to the presidency was completed. Okay, according to 2022 declaration, the income of Zelensky and his family members totaled, this is $98,000. The income of president's family in 2022 decreased the income due to the temporary termination of large agreements on the territory of Ukraine as a result of the beginning of Russia's full aggression, because those guys took over his properties against our country. The Zelensky family cash balance decreased nearly $47,000 by the end of 2022. So they're not making enough money. There were no other charges in 2021, 2022. Okay, now you can say, see, Emil, if you add everything, makes sense. Do you think that these guys, before they published this, didn't make it to make sense? Again, in the United States of America, that sounds preposterous. Let's use that, preposterous. For people like me, very doable, very probable, very possible. I don't have evidence to contradict that. Okay? So I'm not saying that's the reality. I'm just saying I have big, huge skepticism in thinking that Zelensky, when his country, with his decision, he makes the decision, he's the only one who makes the decisions, of receiving over $200 billion in aid, weapons, money, condoms, antibiotics, STD medication, and other things. All these things, he didn't got 1 billion. Just saying. Those guys over there, they got 40 million, just like that, and they're just low functionaries. Sometimes, low functionaries can make more money than the guys on top, because the guy on top has enough money. But if you don't have money, don't you look around? The Americans said they sent the Pentagon sent an investigative commission or something, some investigators in the United States in Ukraine, and they returned and said there's no evidence that corruption in the is not accounted for. So whatever they sent was not accounted for. I can make receipts if I would be in Ukrainian, how many you want, for whatever you want. You want receipts for F-35s? I give you 50 receipts that I purchased them. This is not an issue over there, my friends. Not an issue. Why? Because if someone would have a problem with that, the money I'm getting from this, I will give him a little bit. And I will give him a little bit. Anybody is in it, shut the fuck up, all of them, because they're all gonna get something. That's how it works. Like here, you got the sponsors, the donors, and you got the politicians who keep their mouth shut. They got the mass media, they keep their mouth shut, and they got the population fooled by what? These are the politicians, the system works. Really? And they got the Hollywood as well, with the entertainment industry that creates garbage and creates, how do you call it, stereotypes this group is idiot, this group is a genius, this group is always blonde and blue-eyed bad, the other guys are always the saviors, the doctors, the presidents, the FBI, the agents, those strong guys and smart. Go and look at okay, I'm not gonna go deeper than that. I can go deeper, but I don't think that's the purpose here of this conversation. Here you have Zelensky. I doubt that he lost money. And if you believe that, good. Why don't you give me about, I don't know, $20,000 today, and I will give it to you tomorrow at noon. We meet in the whatever parking lot you want, and I'm going to give you the money back with 3,000% interest. Promise. I mean, come on, you wouldn't do that. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't fool yourself. Skepticism is the mother of wisdom. Not knowledge, wisdom. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.